Only her 5th professional fight, Nicolá Adams. Twice the Olympic champion, if you heard, and coming in on the back of that terrific win at Elland Road back in May. Isabel Millan, she is a lawyer, also owns a gym. And whether or not she's going to have the boxing skills to deal with Nicolá Adams remains to be seen. She said in the run-up to this, I've got experience, I'm hard, I'm tough, I fought at a higher level, and she doesn't know what she's in for. Well, the signs in the early stages that Adams a little bit more precise and a little bit more accurate than Millan, and already landing the more telling punches in the first 90 seconds or so.
Well, she has all those things over Nicolá Adams, of course, and she obviously the height's the big factor. But I'm not sure if she has a longer reach than Adams. Adams has a real long reach already established in the jab, and what Adams obviously has is sheer quality in her work, and that might be where Millan's going to struggle, not being able to find the target.
Nicolá was supposed to have fought on the undercard of the Golovkin-Canelo fight. Incidentally, Rocky Fielding here at ringside tonight, Summer. He's got a fight against Canelo on December the 15th. How about that?
What an opportunity for him, not just so much for earning money that should change his life forever, but just the opportunity to fight an absolutely fantastic fighter, one of the top 3 or 4 pound for pound.
From prize fighter to Madison Square Garden, eh?
Not bad.
Two-minute rounds these, let me remind you. Already a bit of reddening on the nose of Isabel Millan.
Well, she settled down a bit, hasn't she, Adam? No, she came out a little bit fast. Just settled down a little bit now, just looking for trying to frustrate Millan and then catch her with the counters.
Bell to end the first, and around to Nicolá Adams. I think, no doubt, as she gets the instructions from John England, that corner, no doubt she takes the opening round. Yeah,
well, she's the only one who landed any punches. I think she came out quite fast against Millan, flustered Millan a little bit, and then settled down a bit and just picked the shots. And she'll be more. I think she'll be more effective now as the rounds go on there, Adams.
The thing which always impresses me so much about Nicolá Adams is her balance. Moves beautifully. And look at that footwork there.
And that's what you've got to worry about. She's trying to be more aggressive and to get the knockouts and all. That's great, but not to lose what you have in this there, being able to make boxers miss and counter with ease. That fluency in her footwork and her hand speed.
Well, she got applause from the crowd there just for her elusive skills, and she's talking to Millan, who I can tell you speaks barely a word of English, so I'm not quite sure that she'll know what Nicola's saying. But she'll probably get the message, and she's taken 2 solid right hands. And look at the smile on Adams' face. She's loving this.
Just pushing her down a little bit there, Adams. But when she gets a little bit of bounce in her step there, Adams, that lovely rhythm to her work, and she's able to evade punches with ease and land with quality shots back. That's the Nicolá Adams that for me impresses.
I know
and then frustrate your opponents in a few rounds, and then settle down, look for the stoppages.
Solid shots. Millan trying to dig in, trying to come back. She was stopped by Naoka Fukuoka for the WBA title in March last year, Millan, and since then she's come back, fought 3 times this year. And talking about experience, she's had 183 rounds against Adams' 11. But if she takes more heavy shots like this, she's not going to have too many more rounds in this fight.
No, and Millan's she lifts her elbows up when she throws punches, Millan, so she leaves a massive gap. So when she throws, Adams just sits down and punches right down the centre of the track.
Frustrated Millan, a little shake of the head as Nicolá Adams landed that body shot, and she's absolutely dominant again in this second round, Adams, and another one in the bag. I have to be a bit careful with that one. I have to be a bit careful with that one first. Sorry. I reckon it'll take you 2-3 more rounds to get rid of it. Nicolá Adams bossing that second round.
Great balance, you said it, great balance and footwork. That's brilliant, look at that, and then just leaning back, making Millan fall short with the work. And that's what you want to see with a fighter, enjoying themselves. And that's what she's doing right now.
Was taunting her opponent. I said earlier, two-minute rounds, and Nicolá Adams is not a fan of 2-minute rounds because she feels that she builds pressure, and it's in the third minute of the round, 3-minute rounds, when she would really be given the opportunity to get the stoppage, and she doesn't feel that 2-minute rounds absolutely enable her to showcase her talents to the best.
That's right, so that's where I think she takes a few rounds, shows this beautiful boxing skills here, picks it up, frustrates her opponent, and then settles down in the middle of the late rounds. Because when you got 2-minute rounds, fights can get a bit scrappy because you're trying to try a little bit too hard to force the stoppage that maybe is not quite there. But she's boxing well right now. And that second round was a fantastic round for Adams, and she keeps that same. She got in the same rhythm, the same mode. Then she really will frustrate Millan, and she will force mistakes.
A lot of strength in Mexico in women's boxing. They've actually got 11 current world champions. That's a better shot from Millan.
Good right hand.
Again.
Little feint here now, Adams. Just draw that jab. Draw the lead there to Millan.
Switch hits, of course, Adams. Fighting out of the southpaw stance at the moment.
She's got to be careful with the switch, I think, because she squares her feet quite close to the target there, does Adams. And that's where, little clash of heads, little cuts could occur.
Again, looking very ragged, Millan, but she did get in with a left hand there. And referee Phil Edwards just telling Adams to tidy up her work.
It's a nice jab there from Adams. This way she's better. She's punching and moving.
Caught again with a left hand, though. And forced to give a bit of ground, and Millan keeping coming. But Millan was starting to just land a few more in that round.
Yeah, she was. I just think Adams just maybe just in that round tried a little bit too hard to land shots that maybe weren't there. So I think she just goes back to skill now. Nice little bounces on her toes. Nice little rhythm to her work. Pick her shots nice and pick her shots clever. Frustrate this girl. That's what she needs to do.
So into the fourth round, 10 2-minute rounds. Nicolá Adams, the double Olympic champion. Just has to beware those long swings from Millan. They look wild.
Good left hand there from the southpaw stance there from Adams. I do prefer as an orthodox fighter. I do prefer the other way round.
Oh, caught again, Adams, by the left hand. She's trying to walk her down, get into range and land power shots. Saw somewhere she was interviewed and she says she wants to be regarded as the female Lomachenko.
Yeah,
well, that's a big ask.
There's some statements you just shouldn't make, of course. but listen, she's a double Olympic champion, so you know why wouldn't you be just full of confidence in your ability?
And enjoying working in that Ingle gym. I think she enjoys the buzz in there.
That's
People
good.
like Kid Galahad, Billy Joe Saunders, Kel Brook, Liam Williams nowadays as well.
Yep. Good right hand there from Millan. Just starting to find the range a little bit now, the Mexican.
Well, the grins from Nicolá Adams as she makes Millan miss with those big swings, but grins don't win points. Not in boxing, anyway.
No. She's not in no danger, Adams. She's just taking a few too many shots.
Well, they're going toe-to-toe. Millan said to me earlier in the week, I'm a typical Mexican boxer. How did you have that one?
I thought Millan did the better work in that round. I think Adams just a little bit scrappy, a little bit wild.
Now watch again. She had her moments of success. Well, not too much clear scoring action there, but
well, it wasn't from either one really. I just think just found the range a little bit more in that round. Did Millan? I think Adams just was a little bit quieter. Again, I just think she's trying a little bit too hard to force her strength on Millan when she should be using her skills.
yeah, don't stand there swinging. He wants her to box. Concentrate on the skills that served her well in the first couple of rounds.
Well, if you want to be the next Lomachenko, the female Lomachenko, it's that pivot on the front foot. That's the one you got to do and move around the target that way, and that's going to confuse Millan. Oh, it's lovely 1-2 there from Adams. Oh, takes a few back there though from Millan.
Yeah, she keeps coming, doesn't she?
She's strong, isn't she?
Very. Oh, my goodness. Well, no knockdown, says the referee, and it was around the back of the head, more of a tug than a punch. I've seen those given, though.
Yeah, I have as well. Even though you're off balance and you might have slipped a little bit, but, you know, sometimes... Oh,
what a lovely right hand that was from Nicolá Adams.
But you know what? The gum shield's out. Somebody said that's Millan's gum shield. She didn't blink, Millan, though, when she took that right hand. That straight right, straight left.
There's no... that wasn't the old pro's act of spitting the gum shield out. It was involuntary, knocked out by that right hand, I think it was, from Adams. Well, I wonder if that was a slip or a knockdown. We might have a look again at that. Oh, that's good. Good right hand. But again, Millan takes it well.
Well, she's got to come out at a different angle, Adams, that's all. She's doing good work coming forward, and she just comes back out in straight lines, and then Millan can fire back. She comes out of a different angle. Millan's got to turn the body to go looking for her.
Best opponent that Nicolá Adams has fought so far. The evidence of this fight would suggest. Never been 10 rounds, of course, Nicolá Adams. Isabel Millan has done it 3 times. Nicolá Adams has never been past 4, so she's into uncharted territory.
Good body shot from Adams there, but she had to take another left hook back from Millan. Again, you've got to keep that angle of retreat's got to be different to the angle of attack.
Well, halfway stage of the fight as the 5th round comes towards its conclusion. Again, off balance Millan. Nicolá Adams tried to capitalise, but really unable to do so. So on your card, Barry, Nicolá Adams 4 rounds to 1 ahead.
Yeah, I think the third round was pretty close, but apart from that, I think Adams has done enough. I think that third round could have gone to Millan possibly, but apart from that, I think Adams is in pretty much in control.
So move into the second half of the fight. The interim WBO flyweight title, 10-rounder, and Nicolá Adams ahead, but the game Isabel Millan is still in there swinging.
Well, she's not having it all her own way, which is good. You shouldn't be having it all your own way. If you're honing in on world title fights, on world honours, then you need to have fights where people ask you questions, catch you when you make mistakes.
Well, Nicola's certainly realised that this isn't an opponent who she can just bowl away like she has some of her previous.
That's nice there from Adams. Nice left hook, straight right hand. Just neglecting the jab a little bit though, Nicolá Adams. Lovely combination again though from her.
Head's getting perilously closer.
Oh, she called Millan on. Millan lands a left hook.
She's not a great jabber or technician, Isabel Millan, is she? She just keeps coming and keeps on swinging away.
Oh, good right hand there from Adams. Yeah, but she carves success from that because she just keeps swinging punches. Then when Adams stands right in front of her, she has to take a few.
A little bit of bruising around the right eye now, Millan.
Needs that jab again, Adams.
And she's starting to mark up the Mexican.
That's better from Adams. She's just using those shoulders and elbows to take some shots.
Hello. Couple of punches thrown flagrantly after the bell. What's that about?
No, I just didn't hear the bell. I think that was just a genuine mistake.
Few boos and jeers from the fans.
Oh, it's lovely. She lands some good shots in that round, Adams. Again, it was a little bit scrappy the round, but some of the quality work was all from Adams.
Two good headshots.
But Millan's taking them, and she keeps piling forward. Not having the effect. And again, I said she carves success for herself because she just keeps throwing shots.
That right hand was about 2 seconds after the bell. Phil Edwards suggesting perhaps she could listen a little bit better. Keep working, you're having a great fight, the corner said to her. My fluent Spanish coming into play there. I actually got somebody whispering in my ear.
All that San Miguel you've drunk over the years, John's really paying off.
Don't give away trade secrets. Seventh round, and she's trying to walk her down. Millan is still believing. Yeah, massive upset if she were to win this one.
It would, and you can't really see unless Adams just really unravels and she gets caught with a really big shot.
Nicolá Adams was something like 40 to 1 on the exchanges, 40 to 1 on.
Oh, good shot on both there. I think Adams was the stronger shot with the right hand, but Millan also getting through. No. And again, Adams just not moving ahead enough. And
no, absolutely, she's looking a little bit more vulnerable, isn't she?
But what she's done for the last 4 or 5 rounds, for the last 4 rounds, is stop using the jab. And she's just looking to fire him with right hand counters. But you need to feint or do something before that. Again, both landing. I think the better shot came from Millan that time. Straight right hand on the centre of the guard. That's nice
quality
from Adams.
Yeah, quality.
Beautiful.
Lovely uppercut.
And the little defensive move there to get out of the way. She tried it again though. Overplayed her hand then, did Adams.
Yeah, first two got through, the third missed by a way.
Just double up that left hand and throw that right hand to the body, I would, if I was Adams.
Millan hears the bell this time. Just about. Well, it might be a few things. I'm not convinced it's easy.
No, it's easy when she thinks about her work and doesn't stand in front of Millan. I think when she stands in front and fires with her, Millan just keeps throwing punches. I think Millan's having a little bit too much success than she should have, but Adams is winning the rounds. She's picking up the rounds.
Daniel Dubois being gloved up. Martin Bowers in the dressing room. He's going to be fighting Kevin Johnson. That coming up, the big heavyweight battle. Johnson, the biggest name on Dubois' resume by some distance. Is the power punching going to tell once again against a man who's been a pro now for 15 years?
That would make Dubois about 6 when Johnson turned pro.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He's only fought actually 33 minutes, Daniel Dubois, if you totted it all up.
I did more than that in my first fight.
Barry's got Nicolá Adams well ahead here, but Millan getting through with another right hand, and then a cuff of the left hook.
She's well ahead on the card for sure, but she's not having it all her own way.
Millan doesn't look as though she's got the power, though, to take her out. Switched to southpaw and now back to orthodox, Nicolá Adams.
She's better from this stance for me. This is where I prefer her. When she starts using that jab from this stance. And I think the punch is a little bit neater down the line when she's an orthodox fighter.
There's not too many natural switch hitters in the sport.
But it's an Ingle trait, isn't it?
Yep.
And effective. When used properly, it's really hard to defend against, of course. She's boxing better in this round now, Adams. There's no massive punches there, but she's not getting caught with anything. She's just picking up the points, frustrating Millan.
Going further, of course. Stamina being tested.
Good left hook there from Millan. Little feint here now, Adams. Oh, good right hand there from Nicolá Adams. If she needs a feint, this girl will throw. She'll throw. If you give a big, massive feint, make it an obvious one, she'll throw this girl, and then you got her. Then you can rattle the punches off.
Another round away, and the smiling of earlier in the fight, we're not seeing quite so much now. Jose Hernandez. Well, Isabel Millan was being told you're better than her, you're going to win, keep going. Well, that's the way Barry's got it, so she's going to have to do a bit more than keep going if the judges are seeing it the same way that we are.
I think she's having enough success to be competitive in it. Oh, good right hand there from Adams. Be competitive in every round, but just not enough to win him for me. It's a good test, this, for Adams. I think if you are going to fight for a world title in your next fight, then this fight will really be a real benefit from it. A girl who just won't fall over when you hit her, won't shy away when you hit it with a good shot. And Adams has hit it with plenty of good shots, and Millan's just walked through him.
Proper test for her.
Good, and you need a test.
There'll be a few cynics out there who'll suggest that Nicolá Adams has not looked as good as she might, but I think that would be to sell Isabel Millan short a little bit, because ragged though she has just kept on coming as she is doing now. Trainer's told her that she's winning.
Oh, lovely uppercut there though from Millan.
And another left hook.
And a lovely uppercut again there from Millan.
Having her best round maybe. And Adams is having to rely on a few defensive skills and a few spoiling skills. Millan fighting with a little bit of belief in this 9th round.
Oh, again, a nice solid left hand there from Millan. It was good movement actually from Adams. She turned to front the target, but then just got caught with the left herself. It's a solid jab though back there from Nicolá Adams. A punch she hasn't used enough for me in this fight.
Toughest fight of her professional career by a country mile, and Millan might have taken that one.
That's a lovely uppercut there, using that long reach. They're just catching Adams coming forward there. And again, a lovely little body shot there. Really gritted the teeth in that round, Millan, really did.
Yeah, it's become a real tough fight this, and only 1 round to go. Great Sheffield accent of John Ingle. Interesting to hear what the lads make of this one. Richie Woodall, of course, often part of the setup in Sheffield when Nicolá Adams trained to have her amateur successes. Rich is still smarting from the fact that Sheffield United are above West Brom, of course, in the Championship. You sort of forget, after she's had so much experience in the amateurs, Nicolá Adams, but you forget this is only a 5th professional fight.
You do. The problem you have is that in this modern era of boxing, everyone's pushed forward quicker now.
Get on with it, the referee says.
She just neglected the jab a little bit, Adams. If you want to be critical, so I think she's neglected that left hand, and that's allowed this girl to get a little bit closer at times, but that's been it. And retreating in straight lines now and again when she got caught. But apart from that, she's picked up. She's won almost every round.
That's more like it. Right hand and 2 big lefts and another. She's got Millan going, and now the Mexican wants to hold on and buy a bit of time.
She's done well there, Millan, to stay on her feet. They were crunching shots there on the chin.
I think the legs stiffened momentarily. I thought she was going to go. She's a brave woman.
Oh, she's tough as anything.
Clash of heads, and the bell goes to end what has been a tough fight for Nicolá Adams, and Isabel Millan and her corner think that she's won it. How do you score that last round, Barry?
For Adams.
Well, you've got it clearly for Nicolá. The Mexican visitors believe that they have prevailed. I thought she almost went here.
Oh yeah, it looked like she was on her way off, wasn't it? She was having a decent round up until that point there, I thought, Millan.
Dear me.
But again, in scrappy rounds there, any sort of quality work usually came from Nicolá Adams. She had a couple of rounds where she looked superb. But then she got dragged into a little bit of a scrap, maybe a little bit too easy at times. You want to be critical for Adams. But listen, it's her biggest test, her first 10-rounder, and she went, for me, she won almost everything. If not clear, but she still won almost everything. And that should really be a happy night's work.
Boxed beautifully early on, but you've got to give credit to Millan just keeping coming.
Well, Adams hit her with shots where other girls in a previous 4 fights have shied away from, whether they've been looking for a way out or whatever, they've shied away. But this girl didn't. She got hit with shots like that. She bit down on the gum shield and tried to fire back. And that's a lesson learned. These are fantastic shots. They really are.
Hard old sport, eh?
And that's right in the middle of the ring as well. You've got nothing to help you to hold on to the ropes or use the sort of, as a little bit of a respite to get some lateral movement with you. Just stuck right in the middle of the rope in the ring there, a sitting duck almost. It was a good fight.
Well, Nicolá Adams unquestionably thinks that she won. Isabel Millan's been told by her corner that she's won. Thomas Streiber can tell us who's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Fernando Laguna scores it 96-94, and both judges Howard Foster and Manuel Oliver Paloma score it the same 97-93, all in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And now the interim WBO Women's Flyweight Champion of the World, the Lioness, Nicolá Adams.
Sporting applause from Isabel Millan. Judges had it a little bit closer than Barry's card. 96-94 and 2 of 97-93. Nicolá Adams now undefeated in 5 fights and the new interim WBO Flyweight Champion of the World.